What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. $419,000 approved for the 24 months of EIDL Working Capital. It is Tuesday, May the 11th, 2021. Please do me a huge favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL with the comments below and bio bye. You got to go to Twitter. It's crunch time at Try Small Biz, username Small Biz Inc. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 or 3 weeks before Memorial Day weekend. There is a strong possibility that S513 or the guts therein is going to be slid into the $2 trillion-ish infrastructure deal. Last December 27, there were over 50 line items, many of them pork, but this particular bill has all sorts of infrastructure like child health care, high-speed broadband internet. As far as I'm concerned, John Cornyn, are you listening to me, pal? We need, with this meeting on Thursday with 6 GOP senators, we need to get a bipartisan agreement for $15 billion for the EIDL advance. So everybody watching, regardless of low, middle, or high, where you live, how big a jar, or what your credit score is, can get $10,000 or the balance thereof. And by the way, and I've confirmed this with a loan officer or 2 in the last 48 hours, including somebody like this who approved $419,000, it would be a gift to the hardworking men and women of the SBA, and believe it or not, they have some, and Miss Isabel Guzman, to remove the legal liability from all the mistakes, like you're back on child support when you had no kids. You didn't suffer a 30% economic loss when a 3rd grader can say, oh, geez, it looks like in August of September, year to year, you suffered a 70% economic loss. People that are on do not pay lists with perfect credit, never went bankrupt, not a single mark anywhere. There are hundreds of thousands of cases of potential liability. If we can get S513, 15 billion, which is 10 G's regardless of size or location, she can send everybody that was declined the $10,000. Great news. It was added into the American Family Plan or whatever, the infrastructure bill, whatever the fuck they end up calling this one. And they get everybody 15 grand. And all the legal mess goes away. So if you got declined, you'll get the money. If you're in a high-income community like myself, you'll get the money. And it won't matter what your economic loss is. Everyone in the queue, 5.7 million of which last year got 1,000 per employee, a few million of which got nothing because they applied when they ran out between July and December, can get their money. And yes, if there's more after that, open up the portal and let the new folks in, but not until you give people that have been there upwards of 13 months the money they were promised in the CARES Act. So, pinned in the top, speed it up, Jason, is I've shared this before. It's 12 pages long. It's a frequently asked question document from the SBA. Writers shared it, Max has shared it, I shared it a couple of weeks ago. It's tremendous. It's everything you want to know about targeted EIDL advance, the loans, reconsideration, where do you send, what documents do you send? Do you need collateral? Yes, if your loan is over $25,000. More on that a second. You're personally liable if it's over $200,000. What is hazard insurance? Doesn't really explain it here, but I'm going to put another document that does. So do yourself a favor. If you haven't gotten an invitation for the 24 months of working capital and or the targeted EIDL advance and or the $5,000 supplemental, it's all in here. I'm not going to go over it today out loud, but it's all in here. The problem with the SBA is only 3% have been paid the targeted EIDL advance. They just crossed 100,000. Yay, 101,000 and something as of this morning. But that means about $1 billion of $30 billion has been spent in a little over almost 3.5 months. Last year, they got through $20 billion to 5.7 million people. Now, the good news, and I think it was Ryder that pointed this out, is they're going faster. They've sped it up, my estimation, about 30% faster than they were going. But even if they don't go a hell of a lot faster, we could be talking about another month, 2 months, 3 months for some of you to get the balance of the 10 grand that you were promised. But again, John Cornyn and Chuck Schumer, we need to get $15 billion of S513 in there. That way, the SBA can simply send out money to anyone who got a grant last year. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter if you suffered a loss, doesn't matter if you recently got declined, like several hundred thousand, if you're in the system and we gave you 1,000 per employee or you apply between July and December, here comes 10 grand or the balance thereof. No hesitation. I got to believe they'd be able to do it in a week to 10 days tops. So Chuck and John and Jackie and everybody else who's probably sick and fucking tired of hearing from me every single day, please Let's give everybody one hell of a Memorial Day weekend, including the hardworking men and women and Miss Isabel Guzman at the SBA. Everybody deserves this. Let's make it happen. All right, also pinned in the top is an EIDL and collateral. Your questions answered from bench.co. Thank you very much. It talks about collateral. Simply put, anything under $25,000, no collateral. You go over $25,000, your business is going to have to be collateralized. What is that? It could be equipment. It could be savings and bank account statements. It could be receipts. It could be receivables. They got to have an ability to come after you if you decide to, I don't know, go south of the border and live La Vida Loca, and you have no intention of ever coming back. If it's between $25,000 and up to $199,999, you're only going to be liable with respect to your business. If you go over $200,000, you're going to be personally liable. So not only are they coming after your business, but they're going to come after you personally. So my advice, don't take a loan north of $200,000 unless you're damn confident in the future prospects of your company and the team that you have put together. Because if it goes south in the next several years, you're going to be personally liable, and that's going to be a messy process. So look, you sign a UCC-1 lien if you have to get collateralized between $25,000 and $200,000. UCC-1. Read the PinTalk article from bench.co. It explains everything, including a link. It happens at a big bank. If you've ever had a loan from Bank of America or a mortgage, they're one of the most prickish institutions in the entire country. They're going to make you sign liens, and a lot of companies have multiple liens. But if you pay your bills on time, and again, it's not due for another year to 18 months, and it may be partially or totally forgiven. So it's not a big a deal as many people are making it out to be. Just stay under $200,000 because you become personally liable as well if you don't feel your business is going to be strong enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the remaining time, and I'm going to get this done faster than the last two. Can you believe it? I don't edit around here. I've never edited a single fucking video, but I did a 26-minute video, and I said, that's too long. Then I did a 19-minute video, and I said, that's too long. So I went back for round 3, and I promise I'm going to get this done in less than 15 minutes. All right, I have permission to read this out loud. This is fascinating. You're going to hear one or two things in terms of how exactly this got approved, when he's going to get paid, what is happening on Monday mornings at the SBA that's driving them nuts. So here we go. Good morning, Jason. I applied for the EIDL loan and grant last April the 20th. So did I. I applied on the 1st. They pulled my credit April 22nd. I got $1,000 per employee. I got a loan last May the 26th. He received $5,000. Five employees, May of last year. He got a $101,000 loan in July. The timing is about right. No glitches or snags. We all sailed back then. Now it's a totally different story. I received the targeted advance email in April of 2021. Most of us did. He sent back the information knowing that he was a middle income community and probably going to get rejected. On April the 22nd, he noticed the blue button in his portal. That blue request more funds button that we all saw a few weeks ago. I was able to sign the 4506T, myself included, and the slide bar had a maximum amount all the way to the right of $419,000. Then the next day he noticed that the targeted advance was declined. Voila, there is the admission from the SBA that they mass declined. They say 400,000 in a single batch. I say it's more like 2 million because several million people applied for 24 months of working capital. So the minute you hit that button within 4 or 5 hours and you were in middle or high, you got automatically declined. Same thing happened here. Now here's where it gets interesting. He goes on to say that he did receive an email. I didn't. He got an email from the SBA saying it was a middle-income community. I never got an email. Isn't that a violation of the law, Ms. Guzman? I also didn't get an email, Mr. Loan Officer, from last week before I filed for reconsideration on 24 months of working capital. They never sent me an email as to why I was declined. Go watch the prior video. It's because I fell outside the 25% variance. If I win on reconsideration, I may send it back. I may keep it. I may keep some of it. I'll keep you informed. All right, here's the good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So he got an email as to why it was declined. It said he was in a middle-income community. On Friday, May 7th, he got a phone call mid-morning from a loan officer. For now, at least, they're calling you out of Texas. They called me out of Texas. I didn't answer the phone. They sent me an email about 10 minutes later. Call me back. So for right now, and I don't know if this is going to continue and there's not going to be any automatic approval, but those buttons are real. Go to Reddit and you can see the screenshots. They're calling people out of Texas, 800 number. So if you see an 800 number coming out of Texas, you might want to answer it or call them back right away. He got a call from the loan officer. Now this is where it gets really weird. Here's one of three things she asked him for, or accused him of, excuse me. He was listed as an international company. I believe he's in the Midwest. And if you talk to him on the phone, he's about as Midwest as it could possibly get. There's nothing that reeks south of the border. I think she said he was in Brazil or some crazy ass company like that. He sent in copies of his incorporation, in this case LLC. He probably sent in a bill sharing his address and his business checking account, avoided check front and back. He got through that, which leads me to a very important point. It's like any loan. If you have a prick that demands you dot every I and cross every T, you better be pleased and thanking them to death. Because folks, through the luck of the draw, some of you are going to get a real a-hole. And that's just unfortunate. But this woman let this guy jump through over and under about 8 hoops that you're about to see. So there is hope. Over $1 million in my email box has been approved in the last 48 hours. This for $419,000. So he was able to get beyond the international. Now this one's bizarre. She was able to tell him, a loan officer, I can see multiple IP addresses are trying to access your SBA portal from your device. What? From his iPad, the loan officer was able to see that multiple IP addresses were accessing his SBA portal. I had never heard that one before. That has to be a new fraud detection system, because that one blows me away. Has anyone heard that? Has anyone had a loan officer say, I can see multiple IPs trying to access your account? He assured that he's had some kids, people that sometimes use his computer, but no one knows his password or username. She accepted that. She then said, you had a bankruptcy 8 years ago. She made him tell her all about it, what he was responsible for, when it was cleared, what if anything he had to pay back. And he had to send, 2 or 3 emails for all of this. But she accepted his explanation for that as well. Now, here are the 4 things real quick that she told him that he had to send in before he got approved for $419,000. Number 1, a certificate of LLC stating that the business held a meeting and authorized him to apply and sign the loan docs up to the maximum loan amount. And I'm going to share the exact document in a second. So he had to, he had to do a document, a certificate of LLC, I'll explain what the S-Corp title is, stating that they had a meeting on such and such date, and he was given permission to take an SBA loan in the maximum amount of $419,000. He then had to have proof of hazard insurance with the SBA as the other insured. Did you know that? If you have a loan over $25,000, you have to get hazard or commercial insurance. On the policy, in addition to the exact name that you have in your SBA portal account, you have to list the SBA as the other insured. That means if you go AWOL or you drop dead tomorrow, the SBA has a way to collect on the money that they're giving you. So it's you and the SBA on the hazard or commercial insurance. How much and where can you get it? You can get it at State Farm, Nationwide, or anyone that specializes in commercial insurance. My advice, and he followed the advice, get an amount double the size of the loan you're going to get. He got $1 million policy on $419,000. I have seen and heard with my own 2 eyes. You want to impress the SBA? Get hazard or commercial insurance, double the loan they're going to give you. He got $1 million policy for $515. So what is that? $45 or something like that. If someone's going to give you $419,000, you can figure out a way to come up with $45 a month. So he sent in the copy of that. He had the SBA, I believe she gave him the exact name and address to put on the title or on the policy. Sent a copy back. Again, $515. He paid it up front for $1 million of commercial insurance. Copy of his ID front and back, and then the 2019 taxes, all the pages. So, real quick, in 14 minutes. All right, I want to share this with you. The document that you're going to have to provide with respect to the certificate of LLC. It's called a certificate of LLC. If you're an S-Corp, it's called a resolution of the board. The SBA loan officer is going to send you this. I just want to run through it really quick. On this document, you're going to want to put your SBA application number, the name of the business. They like to have it on letterhead, but not everyone's going to be on letterhead. And then the date. And then it says, and this is coming from the loan officer, the statement below must be written from the point of view of the LLC or board or business, not an individual. So I wouldn't fill out this document as Jason McLahone. I would do it as my company, Remote Sales Incorporated. You would use your LLC or your S Corp. I don't know the exact parameters for a sole prop, but I'm certain the loan officer will give you the lingo for that. All right. The four statements on this document are: statement one, a statement that the LLC or the S Corp held a meeting and the date of the meeting. So Remote Sales held a meeting on April 22nd. Statement number one. Statement number two, that the LLC or the S Corp authorizes acceptance of the SBA loan and specifying the maximum loan amount. So Remote Sales Incorporated authorizes SBA loan app number in the amount of whatever my loan number is. In his case, it's $419,000. Statement number three, a statement naming members is authorized to sign the SBA loan documents, including enlist the names and the titles. Now, if you're a sole proprietor or you're an S Corp or an LLC and you have 100% ownership, it's obviously just going to be you. If you have partners that are 50-50, it's going to have to be you and your partner or any other mix thereof. And then statement number four, the certificate must be signed and dated by at least one member. So you must list all the owners or members based on percentage owned, but only one needs to sign, and they must include their title. Now, here's what's interesting before I let you go. If you're an LLC, here's the titles they want you to use in this document: member, manager, managing member, or sole member. She told them to use sole member. So you might be president of an LLC. You can't use president. You have to use member, manager, managing member, or sole member. If you're an S Corp like myself, you can use CEO, CFO, president, manager, managing member, or sole member. So ladies and gentlemen, look, it's crunch time. I hope you enjoyed this. Someday I'll get fancy with the screen shares, but I've done everything on my iPhone. I've never edited. I hope you visit the pinned comments. Pay attention to the hazard insurance. It's not that expensive, $500 or thereabouts on $1 million. You're going to want to put the SBA as the other insured on the policy. And if you get a loan officer that's willing to work with you on this, we've had 4 people now totaling about 1.3 million get approved in the last 24 to 48 hours. So it is possible to get the full 24 months or close to $500,000 of working capital. Until next time, make sure you catch me over on Twitter at TrySmallBiz. Always remember, I love each and every single one of you. And in under 18 minutes, thanks for watching.